I found a grave with my last name on it, yet I have never had children. Then, I discovered my own family had been hiding the truth for 9 years. My name's Daniel, and 3 weeks ago, an envelope showed up on my kitchen table with no return address. Just my name, typed. Like whoever sent it didn't want it traced back to a handwriting sample. Inside was one photograph, a small gravestone, grey granite, half covered in fresh cut grass. Carved into the stone was my last name, Hayes. I don't have kids. That's what I'd believed for 36 years. So why was a child buried under my name? No note, no explanation. Just a date scrawled on the back in pencil. A funeral, 2 hours away, 3 days out. I almost didn't go. Part of me figured it was some sick prank, but something told me I had to see it for myself. The funeral was small, maybe a dozen people, all strangers, all in black, all avoiding my eyes. I stood at the edge like I'd crashed someone else's tragedy. As the service ended, an older woman in a grey coat brushed past me and said one thing before she vanished into the crowd. "You should have come years ago." I tried to ask what she meant, but she was already gone, into a car I never even saw pull up. And I was left standing over a grave with my name on it, with no idea who this child was. I drove straight to my ex-wife's house that night. Sarah and I had been divorced 8 years. Clean split, no kids, no fights over property. Or so I thought. "I don't know what you're talking about," she said the second she saw the photo. But her hands were shaking. Sarah never shook. "There's a grave with my last name on it," I said. "A child's grave. And you know nothing?" "He wasn't yours," she snapped. Too fast, too rehearsed. That told me everything. Because if he wasn't mine, why was she already calling him he? Why did she already know exactly who I meant? I started pulling threads. A friend in hospital admin owed me a favour and quietly pulled medical records I wasn't supposed to see. A birth certificate, sealed under a court order. Every person I asked, all neighbours, my own mother, a family friend, gave me the same look. Tight jaw, eyes anywhere but mine. Like I'd asked them to confess to something. Somebody had built a wall around this kid. And Sarah wasn't the only one holding bricks. The adoption papers were what broke it open. A baby boy, born 9 years ago, placed in a closed adoption days after birth. No father listed, no contest filed. Like he'd appeared and vanished in the same week. One signature stopped me cold. My own brother, Mark. I called him with no warning. "Why is your name on an adoption form for a kid I never even knew existed?" Long silence. Then, "Daniel, it wasn't supposed to go like this." "Wasn't supposed to go like what, Mark? You signed away my son." "I didn't think it would matter," he said, voice tight. "There was money involved. I didn't ask where it came from. I should have. I know that now." Money. Those two words hit harder than a confession ever could. My own brother hadn't just kept quiet. Somebody had paid him to. I demanded a test before I let myself believe any of it. The funeral home, with a court order, allowed limited testing. 3 weeks of waiting nearly broke me. Then the results came back. Mine, no question. He'd lived 9 years on this earth, and I never knew his name. He grew up calling another man Dad. A man who had no idea the boy wasn't his by blood either. And the reason behind all of it wasn't shame. It was money. My grandfather had left a trust, structured to pass to his eldest living biological great-grandchild, my son. If he'd ever been acknowledged, the whole fortune would have moved out of Mark's branch of the family. Mark hadn't erased my son to protect anyone. He'd done it to protect a payout.
This illustrates pathological commodification, where human life is reduced to a financial asset to satisfy deep-seated narcissistic greed.
I didn't scream. I didn't confront anybody at a dinner table. I went quiet instead. I started collecting everything. Bank transfers from the family attorney into Mark's account. Emails where Sarah confirmed the cover-up in exchange for a settlement she never told me about. The original adoption file, with dates that didn't match what either of them had told me. I called a lawyer of my own and we built the case for 2 months straight. Then I sat across from the estate's trustees and laid it all out, page by page, with Mark in the room. I watched his face change as I read the wire transfer dates out loud. He didn't say a word. He didn't have to. Within days, the whole thing came apart. Mark tried blaming the attorney. The attorney tried blaming Sarah. Sarah said it was all Mark's idea from the start. Nobody backed anybody up, because nobody had actually agreed on a story. Mark was ruled disqualified from the trust for fraud. Sarah lost the new family she'd spent years protecting with a lie. And I finally had what I'd been missing the whole time. Not money. The truth. I went back to that cemetery alone. No envelope this time. No mystery pulling me there. Just me and a small stone with my name carved into it. I knelt in the grass and did something I never thought I'd do. I talked to him. I told him I was sorry I didn't come sooner. I said his name out loud for the first time, like saying it could somehow reach him. I told him his father had been looking for him his whole life without even knowing he existed. It doesn't fix anything. Nothing brings him back. But it's honest. Finally, after years of lies that were never about protecting him, they were about protecting money. I still visit every month. I bring flowers. Sometimes I just sit there in the quiet. And every time I tell him the same thing. I would have come. If anyone had just told me he existed, I would have come running.
Have you ever discovered a secret that completely changed who you thought your family was? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.